Well, hello everybody. So we have a little different setup here. Not sure who just came in. And is it gonna work? Well, let's see. So I see John says hello. Okay, John, can you do me one more favor and say something again? Because I have a tablet over there. I see hello, Leslie, because he could have said that a while ago. If anybody's in live chat, just say something so we can test this. Hi, Sonia. I see you. Yes, it's working. Okay, so to solve our dilemma of being able to see what you guys are saying, I went ahead and got myself a cheapy tablet. I apologize. I have to step away for a second. My timer's going off, telling me it's time to start, and it's in the other room. Hey, Sonia. Hey, John. Welcome back, everybody. I know you don't see me, but I'm walking in here. Oh, how's everybody doing? Wow, we got Kathleen McGee, Fairy Art Mother's here, John's here, Jennifer's here. I can actually see who's on saying hello. What a wonderful change. Yeah, actually, last time I was seeing messages on top of each other. Yes, I did get it to work. And Fairy Art Mother told me to take a look, and I will, Judy, to be sure that possibly I might not have my settings bigger on my font on my phone, and that's why I'm seeing double messages. I'm feeling fine. I need some rest. It's just a lot of work. So, got a couple things going on today. I'm really excited about this Saturday and Sunday, though. There's a lot of excitement in the background. Everybody's getting their videos up, checking to see if the secret word is there. Because the Winter Dreams event, and here is Miss Jasmine coming to join us. The Winter Dreams event is this Saturday and Sunday. Starts at my channel. Oh yeah, well let me explain the hat, but let me finish Winter Dreams. So starts at my channel on Saturday, starts on Rich channel on Sunday. It's a 2-day event, collect a secret words, enter your guess at the secret phase to get a shopping spree. And yes, the mystery of the hat. So, some of my friends know that after I had my knee replacement surgery, they were trying to get this big mound of hair on the top of my head combed out, and they ended up like chopping off all my hair, basically. And I've been wearing hats. And a friend of mine was teasing that my hat, that my hat looked like it had cat hair on it. And I said, Saskia, no, I think that's actually paint. And then lo and behold, this hat shows up in the mail. Now, I've been asking everybody the mystery of the hat. I called Kathleen, I called Sherry Ellis, I messaged Saskia this morning. She said, no, it wasn't me. Well, we're gonna thank Fairy Art Mother. Too bad I can't wear it like this because that looks pretty darn cool. It's Fairy Art Mother that sent me a hat. She thought that a colorful girl should wear a colorful hat. And I teased the girls this morning, and I'll be very polite, that if somebody sent me a hat with rhinestone words that said A something, you finish the sentence, A-H-O, whatever, I'd probably still wear it because it's a cool new hat, you know? It's, I don't wear them all day long. I'm only doing them during the lives. We're letting my hair grow out after they butchered my hair off. Boy, she's doing pretty good staying on the back there, right? She's really good about hanging on there. So thank you, Fairy Art Mother, for my new beautiful hat. There's even some sparkly things on it. Yes, so exciting. So today, I want to finish my piece from the Cornucopia event. And we talked about glazing last week. about the process of glazing. And thank you very much for complimenting me on my hat, Miss Medford. Uh, I I like glazing, but I think that's because I like the translucency. I've always been in love with watercolors, and watercolors is almost like glazing because you'll lay a background layer down and then you add more layers on top. And because of the natural translucency of watercolors, it almost looks like glazing, even though technically it's not considered glazing. So in the Cornucopia event, you're welcome to go back and watch layer one. What I did is inspired by many of these people, artists I've seen on Instagram, they're using gold leaf as a background and then painting on top of it and leaving little strips of the gold to peek through. Or there's one woman I've seen on Instagram, she paints her whole round like a beautiful misty violet sunrise or sunset on the ocean. And then she's going in and taking white paint on the bottom half, and it looks like she's actually painting white waves, and then going straight on the top. I think she's using foil, but you can get away and do the same thing with the interference violet and a varnish. The varnish will behave like a glaze because it's transparent. Glazing medium works because it dries transparent and allows you to get a translucent color you can lay on top of another color, on top of another color, on top of another color. So you see color through color through color. That's the beauty of glazing. And is the Scarlet Sorceress art the actual Miss Scarlet that I used to watch to do a lot of resin work? Someone please tell me if the Scarlet Sorceress is the same Scarlet that I used to see. She lives in Texas. I'm curious if the same one. So tar gel, yeah, tar gel's kind of a funny material, but it's got some pretty cool techniques that it says it can do, Catherine. So I'm glad your tar gel and glazing medium showing up. But again, varnish is clear. It's a natural glaze. Okay. At the last event, many of you saw, I was experimenting with a quick set resin that is supposed to set up in 20 minutes. And off camera, I did a test with it, poured it in some areas, and it seemed to take almost 40 minutes. So when I did the event on Tuesday, I thought I had time, which I did not. I had a bunch of product that seized up on us, had to be tossed, lesson learned. I was worried that this resin that was 5 years old wouldn't be any good, but obviously it is good. But it's kind of cool that you can do quick layers. Like even this piece today, if I wanted to do a quick top coat, and then I found something else to entertain you for the next 10, 15 minutes, it would almost be set up enough to be able to do another layer and paint on top of the resin. Because there are artists that lay color, base color down, put resin, paint on top of the resin, put more resin, paint on top of the resin. There's a gentleman by the name of Alon Vital. He works in 30 layers. He's also, we're using airplane coating. They coat the airplane wings with it, and because it has a flex, you can put it on a regular canvas. It's not rigid. So I keep talking about glazing, and I love the effect, but I do have to show you this piece, Sherry. I can't wait for you to see this. Hey, Princess Jasmine, Mommy Pamela. You have a texture painting. Well, wait till you see what this did. So hopefully we've got the right light on this. Can you see this? This is that texture piece, and on Tuesday, this was my redemption. Hey, Janelle. Good morning. How are you, ma'am? This was my redemption piece because all that stuff seized up, it turned funky, and I said, what the heck? But look at how the resin accentuates the highs and the lows. Those crackle veins really popped. this would be interesting to do as just a regular piece of art. I could see doing an entire heavy crackle like this. I like it like this, more portrait than this. Or do we like it like this? Or do we like it like this? Or back to, I don't know why it stood out like this. But this offers a whole different idea of art. That's just crackle paste, John, on an old canvas board that had been previously painted, and I just went over it with crackle paste. That's all. It's thick. Now, if I had to guess, remember I was telling you yesterday that even the Golden Company recommends laying down some gel medium first before you put the crackle, so it makes it adhered better. I don't know. I might do that, but I'm loving how deep those are. And I didn't put anything in that. The only thing that ran into those cracks was just the metallics. This is just purely pigment metallics painted on top. And the surprise pop of red is that ruby slippers. So yeah, this thing turned out really, really cool. That's that burnt orange. I like that. I'm going to play with some of that burnt orange today. Red Cardinal, that would have been a great name. I see a use. Oh, you're right. Look at that. Look at the nose. Catherine Mefford says she sees a bird. But look, there's his head pointing back. There's that little nose. You're right. All the way down. Here's his wing. I see the bird. I see a bird. I see a bird in here. Yeah, I see a bird. Okay, so it might be hard to see this piece in the way I've got it laid. I'm going to try to stand up and see if we can't flip this camera up. We're going to try something here. Go just a little bit higher, because this will allow me, it should allow me to go over here, hopefully without casting shadows. So I kind of want to go, it's not working as well as I was hoping. So the top part of this was created, and I have my exact list. It's in the Cornucopia event list. What I did is I had painted this canvas with Prism Pour Mayan Gold. I wanted the gold to glow through. Okay, I wanted it to glow through the piece. Let me get them. I'm trying to get everything to where nothing's on top of one another. So I base coated it with, I might be able to find the bottle pretty quickly. This one's Tuscan Sun, but you're going to get the point. It was a Prism Pour Gold, right? Now, I used it straight. That's the one thing when you're doing the base coating and you're expecting Prism Pour to be your base, there was two things to accomplish by that. The color glowing through and how smooth like glass it dried. When I went over with this varnish, I'm telling you, I felt like I was painting on the most glorious, beautiful glass in the world. It was just, see how far over we can get this, stunning. So what I have here to kind of explain what I've done first, okay? And this top section right here, it was simply Interference Violet mixed with a couple drops of Vivid Intense Fluorescent Purple, and then the fluorescent pink. So this was straight Interference. Probably not going to be able to tilt it with these guys on here. But you can see how light that is. You see that Interference kind of floating over the top, okay? And all that gold beneath, that's the Prism Pour coming through, okay? The next section was the, now these are mixed straight in varnish in a cup. So this next section was Madagascar ruby, and a Madagascar ruby is actually orange. It is not red. And the Harvest Moon mixed in varnish. And you can see the tape lines. What I've done is I actually ran a piece of tape, did it, ran a piece of tape, did it, and taped off the sections. And what I want to do to fix this is these lines are a little hard. They're too strong. So I want to mix some colors up, create a tape area here that's going to straddle the hard line. I'm going to lay down some varnish, pull up the tape, and blend it in. Okay, and we're going to blend in colors that are somewhat compatible. Then when I go back over the top, this is my goal today, I'm going to use some of the Vivid Intense and some of the Titan Teal and just some areas to create some light in there. Now, this piece was inspired, and Kathleen McGee and Sherry Ellis can help you where to go find it, was an artist that actually is the art that's up in our new Facebook page, The Art of Color. And he paints, I think it's a he, paints these beautiful gradient sunset, abstract sunsets. I think they're gorgeous. Again, my lines are too hard. Had the lines not been too hard, I don't know, I might have thought it was done, but it still looked unfinished to me. So this was a really deep orange called Harvest Moon and Madagascar Ruby, which is even darker. This next section down is we're getting to more of a curly and pinky. I can't believe I did it, but I thought for sure I would have gone peach then orange, but I didn't. This is a papaya cocoa peach. And the Podpatorasha is an actual sapphire. That is a peach color sapphire. Somebody's order's been stuck in New York for 3 days. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the post office, they've got all these warnings about severe weather. We've got people's stuff being stuck, and I'm not trying to make you guys afraid, but there is stuff being frozen depending upon where you live. If there's stuff frozen, just let me know. But yeah, join the Art of Color, okay? We have another group called ColourArte Acrylic Pouring, but we want to start fresh this year with a brand new Facebook page. And what's interesting is how many people are joining and doing all kinds of interesting work. Okay, so this next section down is the, like I said, Papaya Cocoa Podpatorasha. Then we go into Rhapsody Rose. And believe it or not, this little jar looks kind of light and pink, but this is Aubergine. And when you mix this in here, you're going to get an eggplant. So this reddish rose color was the Rhapsody Rose. This color right here, believe it or not, is Aubergine, right in here. Right? And then this color was the Prussian Violet. Now, I may end up grabbing some of these colors and do another layer again because it straddles nicely like this. Aubergine might be nice to straddle here right between these two. But I also have some purely pigment metallics that I want to try. I can't help brushing it on. And then the turquoise section down here was the Prussian teal. And the Prussian teal I actually mixed with some interference green and some cobalt teal Vivid Intense. And this was the Nantucket blue mixed with a little bit of indigo teal and some angel wings, that cool opal color that we've got. So, you guys are all talking about your orders. Okay. As long as everybody's still listening, that's pretty cool. So I guess what we're going to try to do here is going to be different. I'm going to set these aside as a reference so we know what was used, right? I've got them here. I've got some colors here in some primary elements and then some of the metallics. I want to use them on top when it's all done. So I think for this section here, straddling these two areas, Playful Peony might be a great color, and some Cosmos. We also have some of this Bleeding Heart, which would be really gorgeous, just layered in there. I have some Jasmine once we get down to the hotter area. I have some Mediterranean blue and sky blue, but right here, I'm probably going to have to get a little creative and maybe mix a tiny bit of that Prussian Violet because this is kind of a hard transition here. See how much you guys can see this. It's kind of a hard transition from here to here. So I've got to have something to soften it, right? So it didn't dry all like this. So I'm going to get some of these colors mixed up. But I'm also going to take the time while I'm standing anyway. Let's hope this works. I've got to tape off some sections here. That lets me do it with this camera on here. I just want to tape off an area here between each of these hard lines, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's somewhere where it can keep me in a straight and narrow. We are going to blend them out. So this is not like the perfect, precise thing. The next place where I really see a hard line is right here. I mean, this seemed to blend pretty well, but I'm going to do another section here. And here. Again, they're going to be pulled up and blended. I'm not going to do hard lines. I'm seeing everybody's comments said, you want to see my hat? Yeah. Okay, let's see how far up we can get this where you can see me tape. Where the real hard area is, there's a hard area here, and there's a hard area here. So somehow we need to transition this. Because if you paint right over where those lines are, remember the varnish is translucent. It's not going to completely go away, but it will soften it and make it look like it belongs a little. Let's see. That ought to work. I can't believe I'm standing up taping. Guys, this doing these lives is definitely forcing me to get up and get my exercise after having this whole knee replacement thing done. All right, now I'm a little bit too high here. I think this is a little too high for you to see me mixing. Bear with me. We need to drop this slightly. There we go. You should now, whoops, oh, not that way. You should now be able to watch me mix some colors. Let's drop this down just one more little notch right here where we're normally doing it. Moving it over slightly. When I was pulling these out, that bleeding heart really got my attention because of all these peaches and pinks. You guys are talking about lost orders. That's a bummer. 2 orders from another company were lost. That's a bummer, Miss McGee. Fairy Art Mother says she's happy to send out some hats. You're such a sweetheart. No one can ever say Fairy Art Mother is not the godmother of arts. By the way, I forgot to show you this. This is one of my hearts from that episode that they all seized up. This part that's clear is that little bulb that dried first. I brushed a little bit Interference Violet and then filled it up with Interference Gold, and I got this really crazy shift on that thing. You see that little blue light dancing around? Maybe that's something else we can do more of, right? All right, so you don't need much. When doing this varnish thing, it takes very little product, takes very little varnish. Let's go from the lightest to the darkest because I got to address that top area. So I'm going to put, I think a 1/4 teaspoon's probably too much. Hey, Mandy, how you doing, young lady? Nice to see you. I'm cheating. I have a tablet here, so now I can actually watch you guys comment while I'm working. It's so much fun. Okay, let's do a heaping 1/8 of these. That should make enough. And just so I don't go hog wild crazy on my varnish, I have a tendency, because it looks so pretty in the cup, to put too much in. So this is a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to put 2 little 1/4 teaspoons in here. That should make enough for that one little area that I want to paint. Remember, I'm not making a bunch of paint for paint pouring. Now that still looks like too much powder to the varnish. So let's add another little bit. So now we know that the heaping 8 and 3 of these is probably, oh gosh, that's so pretty when it gets mixed in there. It's like the perfect amount, right? We all need the perfect amount. I'm wasting some time because I'm trying to get some more sticks out of my bin back there, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to cover up that I don't have any more of these sticks here. Oh, I actually want the little ones to move this varnish around. I don't need something so big. So now I think in the varnish blend, there's probably enough mica in this, right? It looks sparkly enough. I think it looks sparkly enough. But I'm going to go over that top section that's got the tape on the very top there between those two, that first line and back. So I'm also going to add some let's do that bleeding heart I have out. Let's see what this looks like. Bleeding heart is actually from our Valentine's set. The Be Mine set, which Valentine's is coming up again. We should probably make that the set of the month for now. I can do that. Put some little, everything's on special right now. What am I talking about? As a matter of fact, the 39% store-wide will be gone in about a week. It'll be a week from Sunday. And the purely pigment marked down 20%. You'll see it go to normal, and then whatever code is going on, you can use that. So, and it's possible, depends on how much work I get tonight. We're going to have a party tomorrow before the live event starts. I'll try to keep it to just an hour so you guys can come on. We can visit. I can do couple live reveals to you guys, like a little watch party. Then everybody have an hour to kind of get some food in their tummy and whatever else they got to do for the day. And then our live event starts tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel. But the live is at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I will be on twice tomorrow. I'm not going to cancel my live just because we have our quarterly event. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that and what's going on with the website. I'm building out a blog post area so these lives can be put in there like a classroom. I'm trying to hook up the products that we're using in there. It's a lot of work, and we got 18 lives to go back and try to do. So I'm trying to figure out one process, and then boom, 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 all of them are put in the same. I have 2 does playing in your yard right now. Oh my goodness, Miss Princess Jasmina. Pamela, I am so jealous you guys have deer in your yard. That's amazing. That's just amazing. To me, that's a big deal. I know other people consider them pests, not me. They're beautiful animals. Okay, back to mixing. I've actually got to do my homework here. You guys get to visit. I actually have work to do. So let's get a teaspoon. Let's do a scoop of the, oh, that is such a pretty sparkly color in the jar. Bleeding Heart. Yeah, this is a bigger jar than normal. Sometimes they'll send me home a sample. Like you see, it's just handwritten. You know, when they first made it, I'll say I need a sample of it. And this will last me a real long time. I must have had this jar for a couple of years now, at least. All right, we're gonna do 3 of these because I think that's what's gonna work. We'll find out when we brush it out. And if I don't need 3, we'll go down to 2. Because I am not wasting this golden, beautiful liquid varnish. I don't mean by the company golden. It's like liquid gold to me. I love my varnish. So, slightly brighter color than the Cosmos. So I wanted some graduation. It looks like I'm going to get that with my, oh my God. Look how sparkly that Bleeding Heart is. Ay, ay, ay. That looks like it's got, hard to tell. I think that's a violet and red mica in there. If I'm looking at the sparkles up close, let's see if we can get the camera to focus on that. I think it's a violet red. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. I even had a, one of those things that you mount your canvases on. And it just didn't feel like there was enough room on the table. And then if I was going to try to varnish, it could run down. I don't think I could do it on an easel. I could touch it up on an easel, but I can't exactly paint on the easel. So we're going to try, again, lifting you up and down. I'm not trying to make anybody dizzy. But if I can lift this up, get these colors to the side. Get this area down here, because this is the area we want to cover right here. See how that gold, that light is just picking up that crazy gold? That's that prism pour right here. That's that prism pour right here. Okay, so we want to go a little bit further up. This is our area. I got my big brush here. So I'm just going to go right for it. Oh, my brush ferrule feels like it's going to try to fall off of this thing. See, with the tape, I can go over and get a little sloppy. I don't have to worry about being perfect, right? And that's just, that's just not the same if you're working with a regular old paintbrush, right? You're going to, can you see how sheer that is? You can still see the color beneath it. Do you guys see that? Now, that was the 3 little things of the varnish. And actually, that's a lot. I probably only need to use 2, to be honest, because I'm painting my tape there. And then let's grab some of this Bleeding Heart. Gosh, that's beautiful. I am really loving that color. Kind of big swath of it in there. But I kind of don't mind that big swathy line. Let's see if I could do that all the way across. I don't mind that. Those veins of color in there. Wow. Okay, so I don't need the full 3 spoons. God. And you can see that sparkle in this. That is just one of the prettiest colors out there. I'm in love with that Bleeding Heart. And look what it did there. Can you see that? It's kind of hard on the camera. Looks like we got a little bit right here. Trying to soften this line, and that line is still right there. That's what I keep going over the top, trying to soften that line down. I want a little bit more of this darker color, the bleeding heart underneath. And I'm loving that all this beautiful, shimmery, gorgeous gold is still coming from beneath it. Okay. This is going to be interesting. So I think the rest of the video, I'm standing up right now, what we'll do is we'll just mix all the colors up. And then as I have to stand and glaze, I will. If I don't have to stand and glaze, I won't. But at least I needed to test before I went further how much varnish to put in the cup. And I really don't need more than these 2 little spoons. I don't need the third one. That's way too much varnish. And we don't want to waste it. I've got to get my little water receptacle here. It's to the right of me. Sorry, moving it over so I can rinse my brush out. And let's just go right down the line. So I want to do I love this color here. That Playful Peony is such a gorgeous coral. But part of me, it's still fairly orange. This section that I'm going for is here. I know it looks similar, but I kind of want it to blend down from that interference to the pinky coral to the brighter coral, even probably a touch of an orange. I'm going to just take a chance and probably mix up a little bit more of the ruby, Madagascar ruby, so you guys can see just how dark this stuff is. That'll be the next section. And then I think we're good after that. Okay. Get my little 1/8 teaspoon here. Yeah, this is too big of a piece to try to sit down and paint and give you an overhead view, you guys. Actually, when we get to the part, and I really should be doing it now, to be honest. I kind of kept them both taped, but as long as I'm taking to do this, that's a valid point. So here's the thing. We have this section. I'm going to try to bring it forward without having to lift it up. This section I just did, and I taped off, right? Technically, I should peel off that tape right now and soften it. The dry brush, yes, will soften it. A clean brush will soften it and create the, boy, going up and down on this camera every single time I want to do something is not sustainable. But I just think for this initial one, see, I wanted to do something in between here, and if I take this tape off, then I've lost my protective line. But I am going to move this off because she's got a valid point. If I let it dry like that, it would create another hard line right here, right? But if I go over with a dry brush, which I have right here, where it's starting to smooth out, now I'm smoothing it up to the top. And I won't have that line there, right? Same thing on the bottom. If I peel this off, there's no hard transition. I'm removing any possibility of a hard transition. Now here's the tricky part. I'm going to have to wing this section and try to blend them into one another because I can't put a tape line there, right? I'm sure liking though, I'm getting a whole lot of extra sparkle. I don't know if you can see that. There's a lot of extra sparkle in that one section where we just painted it. It's sparkling like crazy. All right, let's mix up all the rest of them while we can. I'm sorry for making everybody dizzy as I'm doing this up and down thing, but someday maybe I'll be in a studio and everything will be there, and camera one will do this and camera two will do that, right? One might hope. One might hope. Yeah. So I've got Playful Peony, more Madagascar. I think I'm going to continue up. I'm going to mix up some of the Jasmine. It's a pretty hot pink that everybody likes. Let's get some of this other colors mixed up. And that way we're running along. We're not wasting time. We're already 40 minutes into this, and I really hate making you guys feel like you took all your precious time out of the day to come see me. I want to be as efficient as possible. Taslima! How are you, honey? And there's Andrea Shirley. Glad you guys could join us. Nice, 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 nice. Spam, 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 spam. I feel like the guy singing in that Monty Python. Ah, you're so sweet. You're very kind. Kathleen Neffert said she loves every minute that she spends with us. You like this live format? It's a challenge, Taslima. You're welcome to join me. We can go back to back. Okay, so this is a color called Playful Peony. God, it was one of the original colors we made 20 years ago. And it was definitely my go-to peach color forever. That's that Playful Peony, baby. I don't even know if it's in a set. When we first launched, these colors weren't put in sets. So Playful Peony may be in a set. It's possible the crowd could answer that question. But I'm unsure if it's in a set. And then we're going to add some of the Madagascar Ruby, which we know is in a set. Now, if you notice, I'm only using 2 scoops of the varnish. But I'm still going with the 1/8 of the teaspoon of the pigment. So that means my color is going to be slightly more concentrated this next time we're brushing. Okay, let's go to Taz. If you missed it, these are 2/4 teaspoons of Josonia varnish going in here. Okay, let's mix up some watermelon mist and Jasmine. Some of my favorite. Look how sparkly that is. These came out, the watermelon mist, God, that came out years ago when we were putting together colors for the breast cancer awareness set that we did. And watermelon mist, I think, was made right around that time when we were trying to make all kinds of pretty pinks and peaches and anything that someone might love. Here's Jasmine, the name of my cat, the name of Pamela's dog, Jasmina, and the name of the color. I know. I cannot wait till tomorrow, Kathleen McGee. You are absolutely correct. Oh, it's in the primary color set. That's a really recent group I put together. Thank you for looking into that, sir. I really appreciate you checking that out. Yeah, I think the primary colors was thrown together for a season, just like the Cornucopia was thrown together. And I was trying to find colors that were the originals that never really were put in a set. You know, it wasn't really till 2020 when we actually started designing sets, actually doing the 12 colors, not just grabbing what we already have in the line and combining them. Okay, so this is my Jasmine. Again, not much in the cup because we're making just a little varnish glaze. Wow, that's pretty bright. That's a little bit, that's a little bit brighter than I remember it. Now, we know the Madagascar Ruby. This is the color of a Madagascar Ruby. It is a deep, 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 deep burnt orange. Sherry, this is your color. Sherry Ellis loves orange. So she's probably playing with Ziggy, her dog, right now, and didn't hear me say that just yet. but that is definitely her jam. This is that watermelon mist. It looks like it needs just a couple more drops of varnish in there to work. This is the Jasmine that everybody knows and loves, that gorgeous, gorgeous, hot rhodamine pink. Then we're going to go into the Aubergine. I'm actually going to show you guys Aubergine and Prussian Violet. We're revisiting those two colors. They're going to work really well in straddling what we need. Yeah, this is definitely, that's a sherry color. Woo, woo, woo. Sherry Alice loves those orange. Thank you, darling. Here is the Aubergine. I know, it looks just like a really passive, weak powder. If you got this jar in the mail, you'd be emailing me going, Leslie, that does not look like an eggplant. Even for a reddish color of eggplant, right? Right. Well, I don't know. You can tell them, Mandy, what you think about Aubergine. It's one of her favorite colors. Mandy Roca loves Aubergine. Loves, loves, loves Aubergine. She likes anything eggplant. She's an eggplant girl. And this is Prussian Violet. Oh, the most beautiful blue violet in the world. And then we're going to end off with sky blue, 2 more colors, and we should be there. Sky blue and the Mediterranean blue. This has a little stain on the bottom of a cup. I've been avoiding to use it, but we're going to use it today. Might as well get it over with. Get it out of my stack of clean cups, right? I keep trying to move it around going, oh, I'll use it later. Oh, I'll use it later. Well, we'll use it today. Oops. Well, my sky blue's empty. That's interesting. So what we'll do, I'll make the Mediterranean. I'm sure I have more on the back table, but I'm not going to go look for it right now. Sky blue has kind of a blue-greeny mix to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up 2 things of Mediterranean blue and prove to you guys, as soon as you add a drop of a vivid intense or a purely pigment, it changes everything, especially if we put a little bit of interference in it, because that changes interference, mica, interferes with the color, and changes the way your eye sees the color. We call it bending the light. If I have 3 batches of blue paint, and 1 is mixed with interference green, and 1 is mixed with interference blue, and the 3rd one was mixed with interference violet, you would swear to me they were all 3 different colors. You would never know they started with the same blue base. Okay, so these 2, I'm just going to mix these up straight. But these 2, what we're going to do is we're going to make one a little bit more green. And we're going to make the other one a little bit more blue. And all I'm doing is going to add a scoop. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I'm going to put in a 1/16 of a teaspoon of the eye blue in one. And the eye green in the other one. Then to bend it more, of course I'm pushing it this way, right? 1 drop of purely pigment Vibrant Aqua. And you know what I'm talking about, Miss Kathleen. She was the first person to do a video on the Vibrant Aqua. No, that's black plum. Give me Vibrant Aqua. Come on, folks. Swinging through these bottles here. Here we go. Okay, so this has the blue. We're going to leave it alone with interference blue. This has interference green. We're going to put 1 drop. Well, let's show you what the mica does. That's right, because kind of the point is, what does the mica do? So, by mixing this color, of course, I wish I had more liquid in here to show you. It'll take it to kind of a green cast, be more visible when it's down on the table, down on your canvas. This is mixed in blue, so it's going to bring in more of a blue cast to it. But we'll push the envelope just a tiny bit and cheat. I can cheat. I can put a drop of peacock in this and probably accomplish the same thing in this, but because we're trying to get it to kind of teal out a tiny bit here, 1 little drop of the Vibrant Aqua is going into my Mediterranean blue, right? And then we've got, I got to get all these bottles out of the way, or I'm not going to be able to wade my way around here. What's going to happen is that's going to take this an actual turquoise, and this is more of a powder blue. Can you see the difference? It's not really a powder blue, but more of a true blue over here. By adding the interference green and 1 drop of that Vibrant Aqua, we've now turned this into basically a teal. This is a blue, bluey, almost sky blue, almost a turquoise blue. This is definitely a teal. Okay, last 2 colors to mix up. We got here, oh my gosh, I hope this project works, guys. This is that aubergine. Remember that powder in the cup that looks strange? Now it is a red family eggplant, but this is that aubergine. Doesn't look anything like that powder. Hi, Luna. Welcome in, sweetheart. Yeah, this eggplant's really pretty. It's our version of kind of a reddish eggplant. Another favorite, fan favorite, is the Prussian Violet. Stunning color. These are really pretty in resin, John. You just mix them down with a little bit of that Vivid Art fluid and your resin will be rocking. Look, can you see the sparkle of this one? Is it picking it up? Dang, that's pretty. I could bathe in this color. I don't know what it is about blue violets. Just watching it drip off my stick. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. I'm going to try to move the lighting back up. Guys, just look away from the camera. I don't want to make you dizzy because I think I'm going to have better luck standing and painting these sections, even though it's not really my jam to stand. I just think I should. I think I should stand up and do an overhead for you all. If I can give you the better view of this as we go over and try to paint this. Now I'm getting a notification that my battery is low. So let me plug in my phone. There we go. All right. So that's straight overhead. Let me get all this stuff out of the way because I'm going to scoot the canvas down. So these 2 will be on top. These 2 are going to handle this area. These 2 will handle this area, right? So let's scooch all this stuff down. There we go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to do it right for you. Okay, all the way straight over. All right. So we know we're going to use these colors in each sections. So I'm going to pull these off to the side so I don't knock them off. Okay. And this one section, We know I wanted to tape it off right here. We're not going to have the luxury of that. Ooh, there's a piece of varnish almost dried there. All right, so let's take our paintbrush. It's been rinsed clean. I'm going to start with this Playful Peony. And now it's trying to glaze here without having the benefit of the tape. And every time you add another color on top of color, think of these. By the way, I found that artist on Pinterest that has that piece of art on the Art of Color page. I put him up as the, and there's credit for him at the bottom of the page so you guys can find out who he is. But when you do this, every time you add a layer, you can see the first two colors below there, like, right? Like I'm saying, color through color through color. That's what this whole glazing thing is about. And I don't mind if there's a little streak here or there. It's going to add more dimension to my work. And yet this gold, now I'm not even rinsing my brush because I know I'm going to blend them right into one another. Thank God that tape is there because this is a pretty hot pink. Even if I have a little area where it's thick, it's going to make it more interesting, right? Now this section here where I painted to get them to blend, I'm just going to take it and see if it'll blend with the varnish on top. It looks like what was there is still trying to dry. That is not cool. I'm going to have to go over with a tiny bit of my Bleeding Heart to try to touch it up. So maybe have to be really patient and wait a little bit longer to try to blend them into one another. Somebody's liking it. Try another way. I had trouble searching on looking for, what are you guys looking for? Crushed velvet? Yeah, that's in the Putting on the Glitz set, John. You're right. And the more I add this hot pink, look what's happening here, Taz. Again, I don't care if I've got fatter brush strokes. It makes it really interesting. Way more interesting. I can keep going on top until it's too tacky to let me keep applying more. And then I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of this Playful Peony and go kind of right over the top of that area where we started. So it blends further in to my Jasmine. God, that's pretty. I wish you guys could see how much this thing is sparkling. Wow. Okay, we're going to pull off the tape. Because we're trying to, you know, fix a area where the paint kind of dried hard. Now, let me take a look here. There is a hard line. I don't want that hard line, so I'm taking a dry brush right here on that one line, and that's it, okay? Now, this color is going into more orange. We're transitioning in from the Jasmine pink to these two orange colors. So let's see what happens. This is the, I'm getting confused now. What was the color I was going to mix with the, maybe this is Playful Peony. Look at that. Yeah, that's the Playful Peony. And I'm trying to blend it up into that pink, but not go too far into the pink. Then let's take some of this Madagascar Ruby. God, that's such a pretty orange. I love this color. Love, love, love this color. It is at, oh my God, look at that. Oh, I'm gonna put the tape down there a little bit harder. That is, I am in love with that color. Look at that. Oh my God, you guys. This is so stinking pretty. Okay, girls, Kathleen, Sherry, when we talked about this on the phone, this is coming out way prettier than I expected. Yeah, some of that, more of that Playful Peony, and kind of blend it through the top here. And what's so crazy is I still see the gold, and I still see all the colors beneath this. This is why I'm saying we are varnishing with glaze. Okay, the next color down, we're just going to put a simple brush on top of this. Just take this dry brush and kind of smooth out this one transition line, right? Then the aubergine. This is that beautiful red eggplant, and look how this is going to blend right into that. No problem at all. I'm loving how this is transitioning. And it's okay. Tiny bit goes up into that Madagascar ruby. And then the, now this is kind of a hard shift because this is a blue, this is a red. So I'm going to actually rinse off my brush. You can see me over here on the right. I'm trying to just tamp off all the water. I don't want any water in my brush. Let's see, I found a paper towel here. That'll work. Yeah, you can get them separate. Okay, if you guys go to the primary elements, search, you're going to see two sections of 30 ml jars. One is broken down by color and one is broken down by color name. If you go to the third one by color name, all 300 colors are there for you guys alphabetically. The search bar makes it really hard. Some of the searches come up, some don't. You'll get a 404 error code, which is kind of a flaw. Okay, this is that Prussian Violet. Look at what happens when I blend it into that aubergine. Yeah, Sherry, this is turning out really nice. And just using that dry brush like Judy suggested, now, I mean, this is not going to be dry anymore. I'm going to have to grab another one. I have another one here we can use kind of as a clean, dry brush. Because the whole idea is to have a brush that isn't tainted and has no moisture on it at all. No wet, no varnish, no nothing, right? All right. Now, it looks like I got a little more room here before the tape area here to come down with this Prussian Violet. We don't want to miss a spot. This is so pretty. Gosh dang it, this is stinking gorgeous. Okay, I'm ready to hang it on my wall. I don't say that about much stuff because it's, you know, it's like, okay, it's nice, but does it pull me in when I'm walking down the hallway? Do I stop and stare at it? That's the question I always ask myself. Okay, I've got those two blues. One is a green blue, and one is more of the blue. And considering Prussian Violet is more of a blue, oops, I'm going to start with the Mediterranean blue mixed with the blue, and then I'll end with the Mediterranean blue mixed with some interference green and that one drop of the Purely Pigments Vibrant Aqua. Now here is my supposed dry brush, but see how it's tainted with the purple? I kind of don't want to use that now. So let's find another dry brush just to kind of transition these two. And again, we don't mind the streaks because when you're looking at skylines, when you're looking at the skylines and you really relax your eyes, you see all that stuff gradiating up, graduating up there. It's there. Okay, now this is a really subtle shift. They're going to look kind of a lot alike for right now. But the one on the bottom is the green. And that one on the top, I'm putting some more blue on here. This has that blue, and I'm going to brush it right into that Prussian Violet. Now it looks like it's transitioning. Okay, let's take this dry brush. Shoot. It paused. Apparently my plug-in is not juicing up the camera. Sorry, guys. Well, we have about 20 minutes left on our power. So while I could go over these one more time, God, oh my God, can you see what's happening here where it's drying? I'm getting these really cool layers right in here where it's stringing in and it's starting to dry up. That's that varnish. Now, I kind of want to touch up the top again. I know I'm reaching for the sky doing this, but the top looks a little bit, I don't know, wimpy to me. And it is my piece, right? So I get to keep touching it up. So I'm going to kind of go back to the top right here and just like review. This is really bright compared to this. So I'm okay with taking more of that bleeding heart now that we know what we're dealing with. And again, I don't mind those lines. Those lines are beautiful. And then we're going to put some of the Cosmos back on the top here. So it looks like it belongs. Oh, God, that's beautiful. This is absolutely extraordinary. Some of this is already dry. Wow. Okay. So I feel like I want to hit it with a gun, get my brushes rinsed, get my little cups over here because we may still touch it up. But let me kind of get my cups out of the way. Get a heat gun on this thing. Not to cook it. By the way, it looks like I have a boo-boo over here. I haven't moved the camera down, so I'm going to literally try to fix a boo-boo without looking at what I'm doing on the camera. That's not going to work. Now, you can tell I've been using the scratch paper down below here to rinse my brush. Get some paper towels out here so we can create more of an absorbent area to mop off the brush. I had a little accident here, and it looks like, if you can't see it, there's a little spot that's missed right here in the blue. And the only way to touch it up is you got to kind of go all the way across again. It doesn't work if you just do one section, like try to paint it just here. No matter what, it's not going to look like, you know, it belongs. So, you know what I mean? It looks out of place. All right, so let's get some heat on this thing. Okay, so my gut is telling me not to push this. Not sure exactly why. I'm loving what's happening. I'm really loving what's happening, but I think I should let this varnish dry naturally. And, which means we kind of have to cut it here You know, I can go over areas with a little bit that I have left over. But what I wanted to do was wait for, yeah, it will shift like clouds, Luna, you're right. The interference is amazing. What my plan was, and I don't think I can do it in a single session because it's going to be better to let this dry naturally, because I can't go over with tape. I was going to take a little tape and just create a spot in the skyline where I tape the top, but not necessarily tape underneath it, and just kind of take a palette knife and run what looks like some light back in the sky. And yeah, but I think I should let this dry. I don't, if I keep trying to push this, I might ruin it. So this will be probably one of our shorter segments, but that's okay. We're going to be on twice tomorrow. So at 9 o'clock, I'll be on for the watch party, or whatever we want to call this thing. And I'll try to keep it to just an hour, that everybody has a chance to get a bite to eat, run an errand, do what they ever got to do. If they can make it back at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's when the Winter Dreams Winter Dreams event starts. The code is off, I think, next Sunday night. The ColorPlay 39 is gone. And it's not sustainable, guys. We can't keep giving everything away. So I'm trying to think if there's any other business. Other than, I'm Leslie Ohnstad, the creator of Color Art Products, and I'm your host of ColorPlay Live 3 days a week, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 a.m. on weekdays, and Saturday at 9 a.m. And thank you, John, you guys, for showing up. And it's nice to be able to say thank you, John. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Hope Designs. Thank you, Scarlett, because I can actually see you guys now in my little screen here I have to the left. So it was so much fun hanging with you, kind of sorting this thing out. Thank you for bearing with me with the up-down camera. Hopefully we'll have some permanent setup here pretty soon. We're working towards that. And see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And bye, Janelle. It's so nice to see you guys. Thank you, Andrea, Shirley. Thank you, Kathleen McGee. I love you guys. Hugs and kisses.